Natsuki Subaru is a 17-year-old boy. Natsuki Subaru is a shut-in. Natsuki Subaru is giving up. For 30 million people in the world, the word Isekai means something much more than just a story about cute elves and magical monsters. It means a second chance, a fantasy in which your previous failures no longer matter, a clean slate, a start from zero. Then it's only natural to seek out a main character who's strong, someone with hidden potential, someone who's been underestimated in the previous world, but now someone who will prove them wrong in the new one. The protagonist of Re:Zero seems to fit that bill perfectly at first. This boy in a tracksuit, walking out of a convenience store with a cup of ramen and some chips, doesn't really need much more to be satisfied for the day. Millions will say he's literally me, but after his eyes close shut and he suddenly finds himself in the middle of a busy street that didn't exist, something changes. Each day that passes in his new world reveals a truth that most isekais wouldn't dare show their fans. The truth is, you can't be Natsuki Subaru. The first episode of an isekai usually has a checklist. Where is he? Do they understand him? Can he use the same money? Can he use powers? Subaru is visibly pissed. In every isekai he's read so far, the protagonist has some kind of ability. But perhaps it's too early. Still, he better figure it out soon because it's his first father fight. Henchmen, soldiers, bullies, robbers. In a story like this, what kind of father they are isn't as important as their only purpose. If Natsuki Subaru has any hidden talent or special skill, now is as good a time as any to awaken it. But it's at this moment, 6 minutes into the episode, that Re:Zero gives us the first hint that it's telling a completely different story from a typical run-of-the-mill isekai. Subaru is surprisingly athletic. His footwork and execution could fool you into thinking he trained martial arts. Just 5 seconds to turn a 3v1 into a 1-on-1. I mean, does this guy even need powers? Subaru is still just a regular teenager, and the entirety of the first season makes us painfully aware of this. Natsuki Subaru is prideful. His version of pride is a double-edged sword. He won't tell you if he's hurting, often disguising himself behind a fake smile and unconvincing self-encouragement. But at the same time, despite lacking in knowledge and despite being told otherwise, Subaru will force his own solutions to problems he wasn't even asked for help with. Unlike in most isekais, Subaru is treated much harsher in the new world. Each person here has their own ambitions and goals, something Subaru completely missed. Partly because he didn't see them as real people, partly because he saw himself as the main character, but mainly because Natsuki Subaru is too greedy. Subaru is desperate for recognition. It's a pursuit he gave up long ago back home, but after meeting Emilia, his hopes came back in the form of a delusion. It would be so tragic if Emilia had no allies. It would be so convenient if Subaru was the only one there for her. A story in which a cute half-elf royal candidate is completely dependent on him? And if that sounds too cruel, Subaru already prepared an excuse. But it doesn't work. Subaru thinks he needs a better explanation, but what Emilia really wants is for him to stop lying. And she's not the only one to notice. The decision to support Emilia's candidacy is a political decision. Subaru should have known this. In the world of politics, personal feelings hold no weight. On the contrary, they're a sign of weakness. But he hasn't been humbled yet. Until now. The duel with Euless ends with a few broken bones, but the others won't be so kind. His desperate anger gets shut down by a stinging reality check from Crush, his lack of dignity gets him humiliated like a pig by Priscilla, and his incompetence gets him manipulated like a fiddle by Anastasia. Subaru is no knight. Now he can finally see it. And what's more, in his current state, there's nothing he can do but run away. Subaru is slightly relieved. This feels familiar. Natsuki Subaru is slothful. His childhood was a string of self-inflicted insecurities, a voice that convinced him he's not worth anyone's time. Of course, that includes his own. What started as a well-meaning comment from a stranger spiraled into impossible expectations Subaru imposed on himself. And if I can't meet those expectations, what's even the point? That's what he thinks.
Subaru, 好きな子とかいる?
His parents always tried their best. Despite what Subaru believed, they've been paying attention to him the entire time. But they just don't know the right words to say because there are no right words.
好きな子とかいる?
It's an annoying question. Why would you ask your son who skips school if he has a crush on anyone? You don't. Unless that's not the point. A person that's only concerned with how others view them will never have a solid ground to stand on. To keep fighting, Subaru needs to find the reason why, but the only person who can do that is Subaru himself. Subaru could trust his blue-haired demon with his life, and so he confesses everything. His pride, his greed, his sloth. Rem already knew all of it. Before her stands a 17-year-old boy who's just down on his luck. Subaru's restriction forbids him from his final confession. If only Rem knew, surely she would understand. Natsuki Subaru doesn't want to die. But as fate would have it, he was forced to walk an impossibly cruel path. Stabbed, gutted, crushed, shattered, decapitated, killed by his loved one, killing his loved one. Many might see his flaws, but none could ever bear his burden. Subaru stopped being a regular teenager the moment he could cheat death. No mind is ready for this kind of torture. If only Rem could see he's cursed. She doesn't need to. Before her stands a 17-year-old boy who is her hero. The title of a hero is not something you achieve. It's given by the people who trust you, and it's those people that a hero fights for. Subaru was so blinded by his delusions, chasing an ideal he could never reach, that he didn't notice the one person he already saved. The path he's on is dangerous, it's full of malice and deception. He needs every ally he can get, across every reset. But what Rem said earlier was a love confession. Subaru can't reciprocate, his heart belongs to someone else, and so to be certain he can trust her, Subaru rejects her, and asks for help. Now, Natsuki Subaru can start from zero. But he needs more allies. Julius is very annoying. He's too righteous, too polite. He's a true knight. To recover from his shameful first impression, all Subaru needs to do is admit his mistake. Yes, the beating was brutal. Yes, he might still hate him. But now, at least he can trust Julius. And so he does. Emilia is kind, beautiful, radiant. But if that's how Subaru sees her, then he needs to make sure that's how everyone sees her too. And so, he gets on his knees and begs. But this time, not for himself. Rem's confession taught him that truly loving someone means supporting them unconditionally. Subaru doesn't need her recognition. If Emilia accepts him, she will reach him herself. And so she does. Beatrice is lonely. She was forced on the path without a destination. Subaru knows this feeling deeply, how it warps one's own self-worth, how it makes every choice futile, but he also knows how to overcome it. A person can't be given a reason to live by someone else. That is a decision one makes themselves. And so, Subaru extends his hand. But not as a chosen one she was promised. Much like with Rem, what Subaru needs is for Beatrice to make her own choice. The choice to throw away the empty book, the choice to start her life anew and fight. And so she takes it. The knight who killed his pride, the half-elf who fueled his greed, the 400-year-old shut-in consumed with sloth. Subaru's team is growing. Of course, he needs all the help he can get. Re:Zero's third season isn't rated as highly as its predecessors. This arc moved away from the familiar psychological horror premise, instead turning up the hype through cinematic fights. This is admittedly something the story was never known for, but in my opinion, something it absolutely needed. Subaru has grown. Of course, the world around him is just as dangerous as ever. Subaru's deaths are just as gruesome as they've ever been, but now there's fewer of them. Subaru wants to puke. Dying in this world is rarely painless, and you can never get used to it. But now, he lifts his head with confidence. Natsuki Subaru is no longer the same entitled kid we saw at the beginning. He's a spirit knight, the one who defeated the White Whale and the Archbishop of Sloth. Through unimaginable horrors, he earned his place in a world that wants him dead. His words carry such weight they could turn the tide of a battle by themselves. By all accounts, Natsuki Subaru is a hero, and Tape specifically wrote this arc to show us how far he's come. It's a rare, kind gesture. However, Tape is never kind for long. Huh? million people in the world, the word Isekai means something much more. He never wished for this. Just mere minutes ago, Subaru had just left the house. His mom saw him off, but he didn't respond because he left the unwashed mug in the sink. Idiot. The food he just bought is gone, and the first thing he sees is a silver-haired elf and a little girl. They're expecting something. Probably owes them, right? They're taking care of him. I mean, there's not much he's good at, if anything at all. Subaru is not dumb. He sees each pained expression, how they stumble when they speak, how they avoid looking in his eyes, how they fake their smile. Did his parents fake it too? That's nothing to Subaru. Whoever this super awesome guy is, whoever they knew him as, he'll surely catch up in no time. He just needs to... Subaru is not dumb. His hand looks disgusting. He knows they're not lying, but someone has to be. How much could have really changed in 1 year? It's impossible. Subaru is not dumb, he...
そんな奴が夏木スバルのわけがねえ。俺は知ってるんだよ。夏木スバルがどれだけ情けなくてクズでどうしようもない腐った野郎なのか。夏木スバルはどうしようもねえクソ野郎なんだよ。俺が。
He can't be Natsuki Subaru.
諦めるのは簡単です。でもスバル君には似合わない。
In our darkest times, we seem to think we know ourselves the best. But ourselves is often all we know. You have no way of knowing this, Natsuki Subaru, but you've saved people by seeing a part of them nobody else has. You have no way of knowing this, Natsuki Subaru, but now they're giving back by showing parts of you you've never seen yourself. A part that can be trusted, believed in, forgiven. A part that can be hoped for. Do you see it, Natsuki Subaru? If you do, lead the way, hero.